So this is what you need to hear before you take the next step. And I have no idea if you can see me well because it's so foggy and I can't even see the screen really well. So I hope you can see my face and hear me. Okay, so the message today is truly one of the changing of the year, of the ending of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. It's not about changing these years, it's not about that, but the topic of today fits perfectly into that. And it is something so important to know before taking a step forward in your journey, before going on in your journey. Because what I'm telling you today could be what makes a difference for you, for having a next step or doing a next step in your journey and doing that successfully so that things are going the way that you want them to go, or doing a step but then nothing works and nothing will change in your life and nothing will become the way that you want it to be. Because you can take steps and you can take steps that work well so that the step is kind of, I would say this, not only that the journey will unfold the way you want, but also there are steps that in self, they can be successful or not successful. And that can be in the same thing that you do, the same step. Let's look at an example. You can choose and say your next step is changing your home. Because you want to go forward in life, you have a certain big desire, you have a certain goal that you want to achieve, or a certain way that you want to be, that you want to heal, that you want to change, and you think that changing your home would be something that is beneficial, that is a great next step. And yes, that can be a great next step. But depending on what I will tell you in a moment, it will be a successful next step or unsuccessful next step, even if it's the exact same step. And now to go on with the topic, let's stay with that example of changing your home. Let's say you have some really bad habits and things happened in your life that were not so well and you want to change them. Like you want to heal, you want to go on in life, you want to become a successful person, whatever that means to you. And you think that changing your home, like your apartment or I don't know, would be beneficial for it. It would be beneficial and it would lead you to eventually living your dream life. So how could such a step be not successful? Because it is a step forward, right? It is change. It could be really a great idea. So how could such a step be unsuccessful? Not the way that you want it to be, so that it doesn't have the effect that you wish for. Because you choose a certain step to do because you think that this step will lead you forward. Well, what could be the reason why it is not leading you forward? Well, that is, if we stay with that example, is that you change only that one thing. You change your home, but you stay attached and you stay with everything else in the old. You keep the same people around you. You are angry at the same things. You maybe keep the same, I don't know, furniture or things in your life, like clutter, things that you actually don't want in your life anymore. So to really change in life and really go steps forward, usually you have to say no and you have to let go of something old. Well, you could say, I say no and I say goodbye to my old apartment and I get a new one. But maybe that was not the thing that you should have left behind, or not the only thing. Let's say you want to change your behaviors, you want to really change your life upside down, like really from the ground up. Then maybe what held you back was the people around you. Maybe you stay with people that are not beneficial for you. Maybe you outgrew friendships. Maybe they are holding you back. Maybe they don't believe in you. And if you change your apartment, but you don't change the other things, and you don't let go of other things that were holding you back, then changing your apartment may be an unsuccessful step for you. Because you change your apartment, you move in, you're all happy to be there, and then after a month or so, you realize that nothing changed. That this step was, well, yeah, it seemed like a step forward, but something is missing. So the message for today is for you to realize what is actually holding you back. And having the strength and making the decision to let go of what is no longer serving you. And that can be, as I said, people. It could be the place where you live. It could be the job. It could be beliefs. It could be things that you say to yourself. It could be your habits. And it could be really, really painful to let go of the old. The dynamics of a habit you can explain in easy words. You can imagine in your brain there is, when you do something, you are doing like a pathway. You're walking a pathway. You once, let's say, decided when you come home, you will first eat a piece of chocolate because it feels good. It makes you like close the day and it gives you some good feelings. Well, you started to do that once. You kind of walked a certain path in your brain. A small path. And when you do that every day, you come home and the first thing that you do, you eat a piece of chocolate, you are walking always the same path. Always the same path in your brain. And when you do that often, this pathway becomes a highway. So the more you choose a certain thing, to do a certain thing in your life, the more this pathway becomes a highway. And that means that it gets easier and easier. That's also how our subconscious is programmed. It makes things easier. The more you do them, the easier they get. Well, and what do you have to do when you want to change a habit? When you want to change something? Then you have to choose consciously a new path in your brain. And that's usually difficult because you are so used to, like in your brain, to do that highway. The highway is so fast and so easy. Let's say this is your highway. And if you then want to do something else, you want to let go of that habit, you want to change it, you have to change it somewhere. You have to not take the highway. You have to choose that other path. You have to say no to this highway. Like cut it out of your life. And always consciously change it. Choose a new one, choose a new one, choose a new one. And that's hard, that's difficult, but it's possible. And that is important, right? It is not impossible. And that's with everything in your life. I was just talking about the habit, but even if with the smallest habits, you have to say no and you have to let go of the highway. You have to let go of the highway so that you can choose a new pathway. And after a while, this new pathway will become a highway as well and everything will get easier. So when you come home and you choose to, instead of eating the chocolate, eat a carrot or go out, like go for a walk, in the beginning that's difficult. But you have to say no to that highway, to the chocolate, so that you can start the new habit. This knowledge is also really good if you have some New Year's resolutions. It's easier to know how habits work and how to change them. Well, but I'm not only talking about habits here, I'm talking about you and your evolution in general and your life in general, and realize that saying goodbye to something may be the most important step forward. Yes, you may have chosen already your step forward, but without saying goodbye to something that you will leave behind, the step forward will not be that powerful. Think about that. How does that relate to your situation right now? Let me know in the comments down below. You know, I love to read them and answer you. And just one thing more. Not always, but it can be really painful to say no. From my life, an example, I really had to say goodbye to my old way of being. I could not go to parties anymore that I loved, like the music I still love. Hard techno. I still love that. But I don't go to parties anymore because I said that I want to go on in life. I don't want to use substances anymore. I don't want to do certain things anymore. So I had to say goodbye to one thing that I actually love. That's what I did. And since then I took leaps in my evolution. And in the end, I know that this was the right step. But yes, it can be painful. So that you know you're not alone in that, and that God, Spirit, is with you all the time, and you are supported. If you choose to go forward and to be a better person and to go on in life and to evolve, God will help you. God always helps you, even if you make bad choices. No, don't worry. Spirit is always with you. You are part of it. But when you really choose to evolve, you will be so supported by your guides and by everything that you don't see right now. They are all there to help you and to do these wonderful steps into the right direction. Amazing. Thank you for being here, and I see you in the next one. Bye.